I don't wanna put on clothes today. Well, welcome to the video. I forget which video I posted recently where I referenced Helena Bonham Carter's fabulous style. And ever since then, I've been wanting to make a video kind of about that, but like not just about her style. I was like, how about we do a dress like my style icons video. Now, we all get our fashion inspiration from somewhere. You might get it from Pinterest, from the runway, from celebrities you like. I usually get it from fictional characters and fantasy creatures, that kind of thing. But there are a few public figures that have style that I absolutely love, and I wanted to dress like them today. We have 4 different people, and I'm not going to tell you who they are. You're going to have to keep watching the video. Don't scroll away. But let's jump right into the first one, shall we? All right, for our first inspo, we have Miss Helena Bonham Carter. Yes, we do. I was going through a bunch of her looks on Pinterest and I was like, I knew she had style, but I think maybe the older I get, the more I'm like, yeah, I too want to kind of dress like a disheveled witch most of the time. There's something so relaxed and effortless about her style, but it's still like, it's got something to it. I don't know if she's just gotten so good at like just throwing a bunch of things on, and it's somehow super balanced between looking effortless and looking like she put in a bunch of thought and care. Like, I'm getting there. This didn't take too long for me to style because I've done like kind of similar looks recently, but sometimes when I want to go for that super layered, frazzled English woman aesthetic, I get brain freeze and I don't know how to make it look effortless and chicly disheveled. You know what I mean? Like, how do I go out looking like a drowned rat, but in like a high fashion way, you know? I noticed that she wears a lot of stripes, and so I wanted to incorporate the only striped thing I have, which is this top. I recently got into stripes, and so I'm hoping to slowly build up my stripe collection. Now, I have a couple jackets that I want to try on with this look. You guys can like vote down below which one you like more. So I just got this velvet plum jacket. It's so cute, and I thought adding a bit of purple, a little pop of color would be fun. It kind of helps bring out the purple in the scarf. Okay, this one plays a little more into the color scheme we already have going on, but it has a different pattern. I love these big, what do we call these? Cuffs. Oh my god. I think it also leans into the vintage look. All right, but I'm actually doing 2 looks per inspo, so let's move on to Helena Bonham Carter look 2. I noticed she wears a lot of tall boots with over-the-knee socks poking out. I don't have any of those. I don't think I've worn knee-high or over-the-knee socks since high school, maybe? It's been a minute. So I don't have any of those, sadly. And then I added a couple long dangly gold necklaces because I did notice in some of her pictures she had a bunch of long layered necklaces as opposed to like a scarf. It's either a scarf or the necklaces. There's something going on always. I feel like this outfit is pretty simple and casual, but it has that like bit of whimsy and vintage vibes going on, which I always love in an outfit. Whew. I have the AC blasting, but because I always stand next to my window where the sun comes in and bakes me alive, I am always sweating in these outfits. And it's supposed to be autumn, but it's just not. It's like the weather is just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So what are we doing? But that was the 2 looks for Queen Helena Bonham Carter. Let's move on to our next celebrity inspiration. Regrets collect like old friends. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father. Yes, indeed, our next style icon is none other than the Queen, Florence Welch. If you weren't expecting her on this list, then you don't know me at all. which is probably true because you're probably new here. Welcome! Now, Florence is known for wearing a lot of long, flowy dresses, usually like a boot or a heel. I don't know how she does it. As much as I want to dress like her 24/7, I'm like, I need a sneaker sometimes, you know? I need a flat. I thrifted this dress a long time ago, and I did the worst thing I could do to this dress, and that is I've never worn it out. I know. There you go. Throw your tomatoes. Shower me with your booze. I think it's like a truly vintage piece. I'm not an expert, but the material just feels really old, and there's parts of it that feel so thin and like it's just gonna rip at the slightest breeze. But I really do need to just get over it and wear it out because it's such a gorgeous, unique dress. The other thing that I always say about this dress, it does sometimes look like pajamas. It's giving Ebenezer Scrooge sometimes. But yeah, especially with these heels and stuff, and maybe if I did my hair up in something a little fancy, it definitely doesn't give nightgown. Also, I wanted to try out wearing a belt with it, so let's put that on. Well, now it's just giving trad wife. No, actually, it's like I'm getting Anne of Green Gables, The Secret Garden, the classics. But it does add a little something something. But that is the first Florence Welch look. Let's move on to the next one. Sometimes I wonder if I should be medicated. So this is Flo, look 2. I call this my Florence Welch dress because I think it is so her, and it's my only floor-length dress. I would love to find more dresses that fit like this, but alas, despite me being only 5'4", I can't find dresses that like reach the ground. They all have to have a crop, and I hate that. Because one of my favorite little style moments is wearing a floor-length dress and then having a little pointy toe shoe just peeping out the bottom. I also kept the little stack of gold necklaces. I feel like this adds that little like antique-y look. I've been getting back into more feminine leaning looks lately, and while my style will always be all over the gender spectrum, and fashion doesn't have a gender, we know this, but it is fun to play with like masculine and feminine styles. And the one thing I'll say about wearing more feminine styles is that a dress is a whole outfit. This is so easy to put together. I've worn this exact outfit combination of things many times, and I will continue to. But those are our 2 looks for Queen Flo. Let's move on to our next contestant. Now here you go again, you say you want your freedom? Stevie Nicks has such a fun, versatile look. It's hippie, it's glam rock, it's 70s, it's whimsical and fantasy inspired sometimes, witchy. And I think she has a lot of simple 70s style looks, but also a lot of very layered, interesting stage looks as well. So this first one is like a little more simple. Now these jeans are from Madewell originally, but I thrifted them. I think they're super fun. I love the flare wide leg bottom, the like kind of different colored jean detail at the bottom, and they're so comfortable. They're so stretchy. I need a stretchy jean. You will never catch me in a non-stretch jean. Like, I don't hate myself. I also thrifted this top. I got it because it looked so retro, hippie, elven queen, all of those things. At Stevie Nicks, it looked so Stevie Nicks. It's also like very casual, but it can be dressed up, and I was looking for some more like dressy tops. And then I just kept my black boots on for shoes. I also put this crystal necklace on because I feel like Stevie Nicks is into crystals. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but if I'm gonna judge a book by its cover, I'm gonna assume it's into crystals. Well, that's the first look for Stevie. Let's try on the next one. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, I know the hair is not Stevie. I wanted to do something with it, and I think this looks cool. I was never gonna get hair like hers anyway, okay? I would need to get a perm. All right, but let's talk about the outfit. So I wanted to go with something a little more dark, witchy, sparkly, kind of reminiscent of her stage outfits, things like that. This is like a very lightweight little duster jacket cover-up that I thrifted a while ago, about. It's originally from Zara and it has some really beautiful detail. This whole thing up here is velvet and it has a bunch of beading. Even the back has like some really beautiful detail. The wrists are also velvet and like embroidered, and then the whole thing is stitched with like sparkly thread and has some kind of leafy pattern underneath. It's just really beautiful and detailed. Underneath, I just have a flouncy little black top. I actually have the sleeves sticking out, so that's the sleeves of the top, not the duster. I threw on a belt because I wanted it to be like a little cinched in. It would have been a little too blob if not. And then I just have my black purple flower skirt. I think I would have preferred an all black skirt, but the one that I wore earlier for the Helena Bonham Carter look, I couldn't find. Was I just wearing it? Yeah. I don't know where she went, so this is what you get. But that is my Stevie Nicks look number 2. We are moving on to our last inspiration, and this time it's a man. I know. Ew. I'm just kidding. I love men's fashion. I've been thinking about doing a whole video about men's fashion and style. I don't know exactly what it would be because I don't have that many like men's clothes, but maybe more of like a ranking video, something to that effect. But I do love when men get creative on the red carpet. And when I want to look for casual looks, I definitely like a lot of the men's street style from certain parts of Europe, even here in New York. When it's done right, it's good. When it's not done right, it's hard to recover from. But let's see who this last guy is. Okay, I hope the vision is here. I'm gonna show you the reference photo for this particular outfit. So the inspiration for these outfits is Mick Jagger. Truth be told, I've never really listened to the Rolling Stones. I should probably listen to more of their stuff just so I can see if I even like them or not and like familiarize myself with some more like classic rock. With older bands like that, I'm just like, if my parents didn't listen to it, I didn't grow up listening to it. But when I was looking at probably medieval inspired outfits, as one does, I came across this particular photo of Mick Jagger and fell head over heels for this outfit. I want to make this because I probably won't be able to find it anywhere, so I was like, why not make one? But I haven't gotten around to doing that, so this is what we got. And I feel like this is pretty good. I like that it's monochromatic, head to toe black. I love an all black look. I love the flare on these arms, very witchy. I actually got this dress off of a stoop sale here in Brooklyn. I've had these pants for a million years. They're very comfy. They're kind of like my dance pants, my bop around the house pants, and then the black boots because I did want to go head to toe black because I considered the silver heels again, and I think that would also look pretty chic, but I went with the black boots. Now, I wasn't able to reach the zipper all the way up the back, so forgive that. I'm pleasantly surprised by this one. I thought it was going to be a dumpster fire when I was putting it on. I was like, this doesn't look anything like the inspo. And look, the inspo is way better. But like, we're on the right track, okay? I think we can see the vision. I was worried the vision would be lost entirely. One thing I noticed when looking at pictures of Mick Jagger is that he loves a patterned shirt. He loves a funky pattern, as do I. So I thought it was the perfect moment to whip out this top. I thrifted this a little while ago. I haven't gotten a chance to wear it yet because it's still 90 degrees outside. And I decided to pair it with this belt and just a pair of black trousers. And then, yeah, the silver heels again because I wanted something a little snazzy. I didn't want to just do the black boots and kind of just have like loafers and sneakers. None of that was really his style. I feel like I need a pair of sunglasses though. Okay, yeah, now we're cooking. This just gives it that rock and roll look. So I wish I had like a cigarette. I also have a few jackets that I feel like would go really well with this outfit. Like maybe this one or this one. Or even this one, honestly. He has a lot of casual looks that I saw that I also really like, but he's a funky guy. You can tell he's very much inspired by medieval fantasy aesthetics. And I think that's why I was surprised that I really liked his style because, you know, I don't really listen to the Rolling Stones, as I said. I didn't really have him on my radar as someone whose style I would really like. But ever since saving that picture of that white outfit, once upon a time, I was like, but with that, we have reached the end of our journey together, friends. Thank you so much for watching, as always. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Join us, please. If you have any questions about the outfits in this video, feel free to comment below, ask me where I got any particular items from. If you want to find me on other parts of the internet, I am usually lurking on Instagram, TikTok. I have music on all major music platforms. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!